Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Codex Podcast. I am your host, Sonny Kruger, and with me, as usual, is my co-host, Jamie Wojcik.
What is up, guys? We are back and somewhat better than the last time.
Yeah, last week we had a great episode. However, we were not able to stream it. There were some technical difficulties, but it is up on YouTube, and it's our longest episode. It's a great one. We went through our usual things we go through, but we added more things. We showed some of our toys. We talked about our predictions for the future, all these things and that. The predictions, revisiting the past. It was a great, fun episode.
Yes, with also we had our special guest Tim Morse, the voice behind decoding panels on, and he really came to play. Like he was in on everything, and it was a great show.
Yeah.
Like he put it, between all three of us, you could literally see us sitting in the light, and then as soon as it got dark out, you just see the background just kind of start dimming.
Yeah. The darkness came out, and it's something good thing that Morbius wasn't here, because Jared Leto as Morbius probably would have came out since it was since it became dark.
And thank you guys for showing up today. This has been a great episode of episode 11 of the Codex Podcast. I am out. No.
Yeah, we had to mention Jared Leto, but yeah, I definitely the first thing I should have mentioned, Tim. I'm sorry about that. First thing I should have mentioned should have been that we had our special guest, Tim Morse, who is the voice behind Decoding Panels. We reviewed Spider-Man 17 at the hands of Thanos and the death of. So a few things we also went through, because it was a lot.
Yes,
One thing,
it was. There was definitely a lot to cut. Like, it didn't even seem like a lot, and it still took 3 hours to cover all of it.
Yeah, we were having a good time. The three of us were all having a great time.
Yeah.
And one thing I like to say, I'll try not to go do too long of a recap, but I'll go to some things quickly. So one thing is that when we were going over the toys, I pulled out some that I was like, okay, maybe I don't know the names of these figures. And as soon as I pulled out Chapel, Tim knew it right away and solved the mystery of that. And then also I pulled out this very strong guy wearing a lot of purple
With the Rob Liefeld
feet. Yeah, it actually even says Liefeld Inc. on the bottom of it. But Tim let me know. He said, okay, he's from Youngblood. So that got me knowing. So that got me on a lead. Okay, that's where I know where to look. And after the show, I did find out that this guy's name is actually Dutch. So that's who it was. And then other than him, every other character, every other toy we had was named. We knew who they were.
Yeah.
And then, me and Jamie, I'd say, man, we got at each other probably more than we've ever gotten at each other on the show.
Oh my God, dude! I was ready to quit. Just shut down Codex after last week. It was a battle.
Yeah, it was a good fun time.
Yeah, no, it was definitely one of those ones that it was nothing like bad. It was just, we were just cracking jokes at each other and couldn't stop laughing. It was one of those episodes.
Yeah, and like I said too, because I know you people obviously watch, but you and I were talking almost every day. But we do joke. They are jokes that we get each other with.
Yeah.
So we're not nothing's too personal. We don't, trust me, because if we really didn't like each other, the show would be done. Either you'd be gone or I would be gone.
Yeah, and then Tim would be taking over the Codex podcast.
Yeah, Tim would take over for one of us. If I'm gone or you're gone, who knows what happened to Tim. But definitely step in. But I must say, you have never met any of my exes. I caught you said that. I'm like, he's never met any. And
oh yeah, that was funny. I was like, well, that's because you never had any girlfriends to meet.
I did, but you never met any. It makes you keep very far from you. No, it was nothing personal. But
far from everybody.
My life's separately, right? But I must say, at one point, Jamie crossed the line when he said, "I love Ethan Hawke."
Oh,
now,
yeah, no, that was the line in the sand, huh, Sonny?
It was the line. So if Ethan Hawke is somehow watching this, if you sponsored the show, then you can find a place in my heart.
Good plug. So, I mean, you still love him secretly. So. For those who can't see right now, he has an Ethan Hawke poster in his room with lipstick kisses all over.
Yeah. Hey, well, we'll have Ethan Hawke and Jared Leto, two of our favorites.
Too bad I don't got a Jared Leto poster.
Okay.
So yeah.
You don't have to. No judgment here, man.
No, none.
We've already established that we're friends.
Oh, we did? I thought that last joke didn't. Okay, never mind. As we were saying.
Don't worry. Ethan Hawke and me and everybody will forgive you.
That's what I need.
Like I said, so yeah, that's what Jamie has to deal with, what I have to deal with, and what we dealt with for like 3 hours in our last episode, which you can find on YouTube. But now the recap is done. Now we can go to real quick before we get to our comic news. Today on our pre-show, we actually revealed some news, and that was I was talking about the Shang-Chi trailers. There's multiple ones, and then Jamie, you let me know that with the deal that it's 45 days at the theater, and then after that it will be on the Disney Plus with that premiere access.
Yeah,
right?
It will be on premiere access. I think it's 30 days after the theatrical release, which doesn't really make sense to me because usually, like within those 30 days, it comes out on Blu-ray.
Yeah. What was the 45-day thing you mentioned?
Oh, that was the theatrical release of it. So it has the full theater run. After that, you can find it on Disney Plus, and still try to spend. It was an experimental. They're trying to do like a reverse experimental thing, which I don't see working because I think that they're trying to get box office numbers instead of stream numbers.
Yeah, just whatever puts more money in their pockets. I mean, hey, that's the business, so I get it. Even if we don't always have to like it. Just like you said, the main actor who plays Shang-Chi did not like that, you said.
No, he did not. He did not like the being called experimental at all. Whatever context it may have been, he was like, nope, that's not what we are. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, there's multiple trailers of that, and then we also talked about Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage, and Jamie, you revealed to me some news I was not too happy with.
Yeah, it's being rumored that it is going to be pushed back from its October date again and pushed to January, which is a big possibility, which makes zero sense if they want box office numbers. But hey, Sony's going to do what Sony's going to do, and regardless of the fact that we have no control over it, we'll see what happens. I'll probably end up buying it to watch it, but other than that, I'm not probably going to go see it in theater then.
Yeah, especially with you over there in Wisconsin, and it's January.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be hard to get out in the snow to make your way to a theater.
Yeah, I got my little husky downstairs. I'm going to have him slay me all the way down.
Hey, good luck to you and the husky and everybody. All right, but like I said, I think it's going to be pushed back again because it brings us to our comic news. The movie that is coming out, scheduled for Christmas, is the movie, the trailer has pretty much everybody, not just comic book fans, but movie fans, pretty much the world talking about it. And that is the trailer has been released for Spider-Man No Way Home. Jamie, man, what did you think of it?
Okay, so it is obviously going... Well, I'm going to say this first before I get into our little review of it. How ironic is it that the day before the trailer release, where they were saying there's not going to be a trailer, that they leaked the trailer for it without CGI in it? Someone literally was like a Sony representative was watching on their phone, and someone was recording it and posted it. And then the next day they're like, oh, by the way, we're going to have this out, tomorrow. It's kind of fishy to me. I feel like Tom Holland went above and beyond on this one to get the trailer out. But no.
And then Nick, you showed us the meme. Remember, you sent me and Tim the meme of Scarlett Johansson. It's like we all know who leaked it.
Yeah. No, but to get into the actual trailer itself, I'm pretty sure that it's going based off of One More Day. Right, I said that right? Yeah. It's hard to start with this because there was so much good about it. This is actually the first time I'm actually excited for a Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, but I did not like the first two. I love the villains in it. This one is going to be a game changer, I think. You have Doctor Strange basically they're trying to help Peter, help everyone forget who Peter Parker is. He's talking to his version of MJ at the time. Basically, she's basically telling him like what's wrong about everyone knowing, and then him walking through and everyone just like looking down on him. We have, like I said, Doctor Strange come in and he's asking him like, hey, can they like can you make him forget about me? And Wong's in the back. He's like, don't do the spell. And Doctor Strange is like, I won't, and then winks as soon as he leaves. Yeah. But we did, which is one of the theories, which we'll probably be alluding into a little bit more, because rumor had that Charlie Cox was going to be a part of it, who played Daredevil in the Netflix show, as his lawyer, because you never saw his face in it. So everyone's like, oh, that's him. We can't wait. We did have a lot of little significant cameo types, like the lightning for Electro. You had the surprise
Green Goblin.
The pumpkin bomb coming out. Oh my god, that was probably my favorite part about that. Like, besides seeing Doc Ock again, you just heard the laugh and you see the bomb roll out. And I'm like, oh my god, no, stop right now. That's so mean. You can't do that to us right now. We gotta wait a couple months for it. But then the one thing that kind of shocked me was Doc Ock at the end, where he comes out and goes, hey, Peter. But then it switches to, like, it looks like a different view of where they're at. And Tom Holland Spider-Man's at the top of a car. Well, to me, because of all the leaks between Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire coming back, what Pete is he talking to?
Good point. Yeah.
You know, we don't really have that idea. And, like, the MCU, when they put out trailers, is so unpredictable. Because if you think back to Endgame, you had the Hulk in the background running with them, but we never got the Hulk in Infinity War or Endgame. We got the Hulkbuster, and then we got Professor Hulk. But we never had regular Hulk besides the opening of Infinity War.
Yeah.
So my thing is, with all those scenes where it's kind of wider, and you got Tom Holland in the middle, do you think that they actually probably have Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, like, standing next to him? They just CG'd him out.
I don't think they changed the part, but I'm guessing they're going to be somewhere in there. I don't know how big, what part they're going to have, but I'm guessing they're at least going to have a scene each. I'm hoping that they have a big part in it each. But yeah, I don't think they were CGI'd out. But like you're saying, I think with the whole thing, it almost seems like that they had this whole thing planned. Like I said, there was all the talk about we're not going to have any trailers. There's going to be nothing. Like, they had to go out and say that to everybody, to have people talking about it. Like I said, we were just talking about it, a couple weeks ago, that there's going to be no trailer. And then suddenly, oops, there's a leak. And then, okay, well, now here's the real thing. So I think it was all, like, staged, that they just wanted to get people talking about it. And it worked. And we're talking about it. And it does look great. I'm really excited for it. Like I said, I like the other Spider-Man movies, especially the like the one with Doc Ock and Green Goblin. So it'd be great to see them back. Maybe we'll see a dancing Tobey Maguire.
I would hope, like, they just break out into, like, some, like, synchronized dance style, all three of them, and they're just doing, like, the finger guns running down the street or something. It'd be, and they all got, like, the little emo hair off to the side.
Hair, yeah.
But yeah, no, yeah, it was cool to see. I know in the first hour, I think it hit 10 million views. Like, that's insane. We're happy with 20, and these people.
Yeah, we wait 20 after a week.
Yeah, these guys are hitting astronomical numbers in the first hour, and it's great to see. I still love all the community within it, even though they said that it wasn't gonna have a trailer, and then somebody leaked it. I'm still, like I said, this is the first time I'm actually excited for a Spider-Man movie, so they better not let me down, or I'm very, very upset, and I'm gonna never watch them again.
Until the next one comes out, right?
Yeah, until Jared Leto shows up.
Yeah, Jared Leto shows up. Okay, and then or what about Maximum Carnage, if they had a movie with Carnage?
Oh, if they somehow managed to get Venom and Carnage into the MCU, like, have a thing, yeah, I'd be 100% in.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, so it looks great. I'm excited for it. Like I say, you pretty much went through the trailer, but yeah, so I'm excited for it. And there's probably going to be another big one coming out soon. Maybe within a month or two, something. There'll be a longer one that will show us more characters, more villains, and have us even more excited about it. And, we'll definitely mention it on the show.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And it, like I said, Sonny, did you have like a favorite part of the trailer for yourself? Like, was there one part that like stuck out to you more than the rest?
I'd say seeing Doc Ock. I know that's by most people are saying that, but yeah, for me too, that was what got me the most excited was seeing Doc Ock again, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. Because yeah, I think he's gonna have a big part in the movie. I think Doc Ock will. He's one of Spider-Man's greatest villains. He's also a very intelligent but yet tough. Where even they may try to have Doc Ock and say, hey, we may need your help to help us deal with everything going on with this multiverse and. Yeah. Everything, yeah.
So. Yeah, before we move on, there's one more thing with that trailer that I want to actually talk to you about, because there are theories of it being like the Sinister Six, but the multiversal Sinister Six. Now there's a scene in there where Tom Holland's it looks like a sewer. It's dark. I think you remember which one I'm talking about, but something jumps out and they're trying to predict what it is. Some people are saying it's like Doc Ock's arm. Some people are saying it's a lizard. Others are saying that it could possibly be Venom. And then we have the whole Mephisto theory again, which is killing me. But I don't know, how would you feel about having a multiversal Sinister Six in this movie compared to the normal continuity of a Sinister Six in this movie?
I think just having a Sinister Six excuse me. I think just having a Sinister Six would make me happy. I know, something like you should go by the comics, but I understand it's the movies. It's not going to be just like the comics, but just to have, even when we think about it, just 6 villains in one movie would be incredible.
Right.
And yeah, I don't think it's going to be Mephisto. I really doubt it's Venom. If anything, I could see it being the Lizard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe this time the Jamie Foxx Electro will wear a big star in his face.
I want my money on that so bad. I just want them to actually do it.
Maybe actually the whole outfit. Yeah, so. But it's been fun talking about. I'm sure it's gonna be a great movie. I'm really excited for. I do like the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
Let me decline this phone call. See, you're not the only person whose phone calls I ignore.
Yeah, it's everybody's, and it's sad.
Yeah, I'll get back to our topic, but real quick, for a series about a series, when I made a teaser trailer, the character ignores his phone call, and my uncle's like, yeah, I'm sure you had to dig really deep into that one. You had to really dig deep into your acting for that.
Yeah.
For that trailer.
Oh, that wins everything. That I can't wait to see that part, because it'd be like, that's exactly what happens in real life.
Well, hey, it's in the teaser trailer. It is out now, so you could check that out.
No, I mean actually in the show. I want to see every time that a character gets a call, they just ignore it. That's what I'm talking about.
And you'll see that's Sonny. That's
all written by Sonny. Every time someone calls, they hit ignore, and then if there's a text message, it's the next episode in the second season where they're replying.
When it's replied to, yeah. But as you can hear, there's a storm. So our special guest today, my dog / brother Dexter, is here. Dexter is not too much of a fan of storms, but we were talking about. Let's get on to the trailer, the second trailer to the Eternals. Now, for the first trailer of the Eternals, I was kind of like, okay, it's a regular Marvel movie, not too excited for it. But with the second trailer, I'm a lot more excited for it. We've seen a lot more in the movie. I found out that Kit Harington is playing Black Knight, who in the comic books is a member of the Avengers, so I'm excited for that. And in the trailer, we saw the Celestials. So, excuse me, but I'm very excited for it. I thought it was a great trailer. Now I'm excited for the movie. And, the Eternals, a lot of them aren't too known to a lot of fans, to the basic fans of comic books. And Celestials are too. They're more people are beings, gods that are not too known. But not too long ago, I was reading X Factor. I love my X-Men. So I was in the X Factor, the Judgment War, and that was what introduced me to the Celestials. So now I happen to see them in the trailer, and now I'm even more excited for the Eternals 2. Jamie, what did you think of it?
Well, I think this is technically the third trailer. You had the teaser trailer, the first trailer, and then now this. The first two I could care less for. There was nothing really extravagant. There's a lot of people having questions because of the fact that, that in the narration for the Eternal show or movie coming out, it was, we were told not to be involved or until we were needed, and everyone was wondering where they were to fight, Thanos and take that over. But this one, oh my God, the whole trailer it blew my mind. I'm more excited for this, I think, than I want to say Shang-Chi. Like I said, I had some I have to see Shang-Chi in order to get my opinion on it. That's one, like usually when I see a trailer, it boosts me and be like, hey, I either like it or I hate it. But with the first two, I didn't like because it didn't give much information. All we saw was Kit Harington do his Jon Snow impersonation, and just look into the abyss. And we had the one joke about who would lead the Avengers, and Rob Stark was like, me, and everyone laughed, and that was basically the trailer. But in this one, you get action, the Celestials, everything, and I think I'm more excited for that because now we're opening up that realm of possibilities, and with Fantastic Four being slated for the end of phase, was this 4, 5, 4?
Yeah,
4. Yeah, see, Fantastic Four for phase 4. I think that the sky's the limit right now. Now we're telling new stories. Now we're breaking into new characters. We're finally getting all those Fox acquisitions into the MCU, and I pray they do it justice. So
yeah, I'm hoping we can see Galactus sometime in an actual Galactus that looks at least somewhat like the comics, not Cloud Galactus.
Oh, he's gonna be
like the other Fantastic.
He's gonna be a Cloud.
Oh man, I'd rather have Jared Leto playing.
If you don't want me to watch that movie, that's how you do it.
Cloud, Jared Leto, Galactus.
Oh my God, we're back on this again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. And then also with the Celestials, they can't use Ego, the living planet, because Ego they already used in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and they made Ego, the living planet, as Star-Lord's dad. So I don't think we'll be seeing him anymore, but there are plenty of other Celestials that will get spotlight, and I'm interested to see what they can do with it. And yeah, we shall see, because like I said, at least now you're excited, I'm excited. And remember a lot of complaints, like I said, where people were saying, oh, with the Eternals, why didn't they do anything during Infinity War / Endgame? And they made sure in this trailer to put the part where Kit Harington as Black Knight is asking, why didn't you stop Thanos? Why didn't you do anything? And then they had to say, oh, because we only do it when the deviants come.
Yeah, and that I think that shut a lot of people up. It shut me up. I was like, if that was the case, why didn't they just, go in there and just demolish the guy? And then now we know.
Yeah, so I did. Yeah, when I heard that in the trailer, I'm like, okay, good. That was a good part that they put in there. So, like I said, shut a lot of us up.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, but now we remain onto the MCU, and we move on to Black Panther 2's Ironheart. Jamie, I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, this news broke this week, and I'm surprised it's not as big as everyone is, everything else is going out. But we are getting a new kind of Iron Man, is Ironheart, Riri Williams. It was announced that she will be showing up in Black Panther 2. Now, we don't know if she's actually going to have the tech that Tony Stark had, if she's just showing up as a character, as like a cameo appearance, but she is really relatively new. I remember picking up her first appearance was in, I think it was an Iron Man series before I even moved up here, so it wasn't that long ago. But the character was created by, I believe, Bendis before he left Marvel and jumped ship to DC, and he's getting those royalties for it. But yeah, I'm more than excited. Black Panther 2, I think they're trying to put all the stops now, like to get people's attention because of everything that has happened with Chadwick Boseman, what they're gonna do moving forward. I think he's gonna answer a lot of questions from like little segments of the MCU coming in. So I'm excited for her. I'd love to see her suit up and, fight side by side with Shuri or anybody from Wakanda.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think it's interesting. Like I said, and I can see why. I know, like you said, she's a new character, and you were right. She was created by Brian Michael Bendis, and her first appearance was a cameo appearance in Invincible Iron Man, Volume 2,
hang on.
number 7.
Oh, I was trying to guess the issue. Hey, you said it. I was like,
oh,
it's cool. I was gonna say 9, but I think that was her first full appearance.
Yeah, because it just tells us about the cameo appearance was in number 7, May 2016.
Yeah, so that wasn't. Yeah, that was way before I moved up here. But it feels like it was just yesterday that the character came out. So.
Yeah, the years are flying by, but still, when you think about it, 5 years and to already be getting a part in a movie and a big part, but it does make sense. I could see where she fits in like right now into the MCU, especially with Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman's passing, and then what happened with Iron Man, Tony Stark, and the Avengers Endgame movie. So to me, it makes sense putting her in. I could see why.
And the fact that we are having Armor Wars come out on Disney Plus. So
yeah, man,
that's gonna be.
I got the Epic collection somewhere down there, so I'll definitely have to go through that before checking out the show.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a great send off for one character and the start of a new one. In my opinion, I hope she does justice to it all. So
yeah. Well, good luck to her because hey, I'm a fan of all things comic books, movies. So why would I want it to be bad? I'm hoping it's all good and amazing and incredible, and this and that. But we shall see when Ironheart appears in Black Panther 2. That all for that?
Yeah, I got nothing really left because if I said more, I don't want to make it look like because if I explain the comic, it might not be the same as the movie. So it's like
probably
yeah, like most things when it comes from comic to movie adaptation.
Yeah, like we were just saying how they made Ego the Living Planet Star-Lord's dad, but I still love the movie. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is still one of my favorite superhero movies. But now we move on to Captain America 4. It has been confirmed that the Falcon will be Captain America in the new Captain America 4 movie. Now, the showrunner for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Malcolm Spellman, is set to be the showrunner for the movie Captain America 4. They still don't have a director attached to it, but it's going to happen, and I'm looking forward to it, and I think it should be good. I know, like I said, there's obviously a lot of work before we're done, but I like it. I think it's obvious. I think it was pretty much inevitable that Falcon, as Captain America, was going to have his own movie. Are you excited for it?
I am. I want to see what happens because we had Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and now at the end it was Captain America and the Winter Soldier, and I believe at the end of the end credits is like you will see, Falcon or Sam Wilson return in Captain America 4. Which at that time I think they didn't know a date, didn't have much information, so they kind of just left it alone until they were like, hey, it's finalized. We're gonna have it go. But I did read that they're also going to have Sebastian Stan as Bucky Barnes in it still. So we're still going to get that kind of buddy cop, the duo, still in that movie. How many movies is going to be after that? I cannot tell you because I hope that they have at least another trilogy based on the Anthony Mackie version. And who knows, maybe even give Bucky the shield at one point.
Yeah, because like I said, not too long ago when we went over our Captain America who will wield the shield, we saw that Bucky Barnes had become Captain America at one point, and we even have our Decoding Panels episode of it. So
so go check that out if you guys have not yet. Please get over there now. Yes. Not right now, but like after the show's done.
Yeah, but it should be good. I'm trying to think of who would be a good villain for the next one. Who would be...
they kind of tied up Baron Zemo. So that's out of the question.
Yes, Zemo. Actually, Red Skull, he was kind of like Death, though, in Avengers Endgame, but he's still somewhat around.
Yeah, well, with all the multiversal,
Yeah.
Conviction going on, I could see him coming back somehow.
Yeah.
And like beating Sam Wilson, and Sam's like, how did, Steve do it besides, super soldier serum? But even if they had because they kind of set up for a Thunderbolts with all the series that we've had so far with Disney Plus, it could be the Thunderbolts versus Captain America and Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
which would be awesome. Yeah. So, I mean, hey, high hopes, but hey, it'd be amazing to see.
Yeah. So, there's that. Okay. Now, Jamie, I know you were very excited about this one, and we added it to the list like a day or two ago. Brokeback Mountain star Jake Gyllenhaal is set to star and produce Robert Kirkman's Oblivion.
I love how that's the movie you picked.
Oh, yeah, he was also Mysterio in Spider-Man.
Yeah, let's not add that for, show context at all. But sure, but the Joker and Mysterio, if you guys want to catch them on Brokeback Mountain, go for it. I guess it's a shameless plug.
Hey, you also get to see Catwoman. You get to see Venom's wife, and
yeah, all of them.
There's even a quick part you see Black Widow's dad's in there.
Yeah, so let's move on. So yeah, I'm excited. I've been reading Oblivion Song since it started. It's a great series. For those who don't know, Robert Kirkman is the writer behind it. He's done things like The Walking Dead, Invincible, Firepower, and so much more. It basically is about another post-apocalyptic kind of world, but at the same time, there's an experiment that went wrong. There's a noise, and they call it the Oblivion Song, as this experiment went wrong, which brought another world into our world. And they had to shield off, I'm not going to give too much away, they had to shield off a city to keep any alien monsters, whatever they are called, from coming and attacking them. The cool thing about this story is something I've never seen before, where the humans can transfer over to their world based on our coordinates. So if they want to jump to like New York, you'll see New York as it's destroyed on their side too, not just ours. When I was looking at this, because I think it was after like the 6th issue, they greenlit it to be a TV show or a movie. And I think we're only 35 issues in on this. So there's story, but not a lot of story. But when you're looking, because there's two brothers that are the protagonists in this actual series, I couldn't figure out who would play them. And then as soon as I saw that Jake Gyllenhaal was playing them, well, one of them, I think I would suppose, I was like, yes, that's who it is. They look exactly like he could pull off either one. Now, who's going to be his brother in it? I don't know. But I'm more excited to see this than I should be. Like, it's a big move for an indie comic, because now in where we're at with comic book shows and movies, it's a booming industry right now with so many shows coming out, so many movies. We're spoiled right now if you're a comic book fan.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, that's good.
Sonny, you definitely got to at least pick up the first trade just to see how this whole thing is. And it's not that expensive, I don't think, but it's amazing.
Yeah, and it's how a few weeks ago, I'm trying to remember what episode was it, but we talked about it. I believe it was Dave who commented, and then you were going more into it about Oblivion. We were talking about it, and then now look at that, how it will be a show, or is it going to be a show or a movie?
I don't know as of right now. They didn't kind of put it into perspective. All I know is that Jake Gyllenhaal's starring in it, which I was just blown away that they got him. Because when they originally had it, they had it slated almost as a Walking Dead format, so a show. But if they could pull off a movie, but if you do the show, it'd be better to me, because they're still writing a comic. Yeah, You could do more, but they're also writing the comic, and I just don't want a Game of Thrones to happen to my Oblivion song.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I know what you mean, yeah. So, yeah, but it should be good. Hopefully, we'll definitely update more when we have more details on it. But yeah, it should be good. And like Jake Gyllenhaal, he's a great actor, so he's a huge huge actor to have attached to the show. It's a big plus for the show. And like I said, it's a great move, very big for indie comic books to have something like this out there.
Yeah, and if you haven't yet, go check out Brokeback Mountain with him and Heath Ledger as the Joker, and then because Sonny plugged that for I still don't get it. As we were saying, let's go on.
Okay. Well, I was also gonna say Bubble Boy, but I don't.
That would have been better. I would have, or Donnie Darko, like something.
Yeah. Or you could see him in Prisoners, along with Hugh Jackman, also known for playing Wolverine.
This episode just turned out to be a Jake Gyllenhaal IMDB episode
where
we go through. Yeah. So, yeah, I got nothing else, Sonny. So whatever you want to take away with, go for it.
Okay. Well, there we go. We'll be back with more Jake Gyllenhaal IMDB in future episodes. But right now, we move on to the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe trailer. It's not the show that we talked about not too long ago, where it's just Masters of the Universe Revelation. It's another Netflix show called He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. And it's going to come out pretty soon. And again, it's not getting a response that Netflix likes, because there's a cartoon, or more an animated series, and watching it, I can tell it's very geared towards children. He-Man looks like he's going to be in there. I don't think there's going to be any killing of He-Man, but to me, it seems very different from the shows before. There's a lot of new characters. I'm like, okay, maybe like I'm not like that knowledgeable of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. I know a lot of characters, but like later on, because the 80s show went so long, they had so many characters. I'm like, okay, there's quite a few that I'm not too familiar with. But I think a lot of these characters in the trailer were just new for this show. And like I said, I could tell they're really pushing for a younger audience. And I guess it's fine. You want to get a new legion of fans. But I think like old He-Man fans are not really getting much to go off of lately, especially with this new one. I don't think they're going to be too happy with it. Orko is like a robot as opposed to a little wizard. And yeah, just, like I said, all the new characters. And then I looked on YouTube today when we were getting ready to do the pre-show. I said, hey, let me check out that trailer just to refresh my mind on it. And I saw that it has somewhere from it says a little over 6,700 likes, but it has over 16,000 dislikes. So I'm like, not doing so good. What did you think of it, Jamie?
I am indifferent because of the fact that, they, even like you just mentioned, you're gearing it towards children. It's a cartoon. It's going to be geared towards kids. I mean, what we were geared towards with Batman the Animated Series. I remember plenty of older people being like, that's kid stuff. And we ended up loving every second of it, So, I mean, I don't want to knock it for how the animation looks. I will knock it because, switching of characters and everything like that. I don't think it deserves the 16,000 dislikes, but I don't blame them. If you're a He-Man fanatic, then I can see where you're going to go wrong on. But still enjoy the process of it. At least you're getting it. There's some shows that people are still waiting on for them to redo, like remaster, bring back, and they're not getting it. But in this case, you got two shows. You have one with not both are Kevin Smith, are they?
I don't believe this new one is.
Okay. So you have one with Kevin Smith, and then now you got the new one, and I think everyone's kind of going off of what happened with the Kevin Smith ordeal into this. So
yeah, I agree. I think a lot of the negativity towards that one is kind of going towards this one too. Like it's just kind of like, oh, again, this fast, And then earlier in I believe it was the late 80s, I'm not sure the exact year, but He-Man fans were also disappointed when there was a live action movie with Dolph Lundgren and I believe it was regalia, but then you also had Courtney Cox, and it was mostly just like an 80s movie, and then a little bit of He-Man shooting some guns. But I don't know what it is with He-Man, why so many people get it wrong. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I know what it is. The bad luck of He-Man.
That's how it's always is, and probably always going to be, I think. But as far as like you're ushering in a new generation of kids, young adults that might not know who He-Man is, and this is their outlet. That might give them that benefit to go back and watch some of the old stuff.
Yeah. And then, yeah, because they said it's geared towards kids. It will bring in, like I said, they will eventually grow up and they'll say, hey, this is the He-Man I know. I don't know that super old one where he had that epic haircut.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Oh, dear God.
We shall see. I think one thing, like I was saying, with kids shows, I think sometimes now is they seem like really trying to push like how do I put it? Like it almost pushes adults away. Like it's hard for adults to enjoy. Sometimes the jokes are very childish. Whereas the shows, like I said, like X-Men, which I loved, and I'll go into more about later. But like the Batman, the animated series, is even though, yes, they were for kids, they kind of just were the episode. It didn't seem like, hey, we got to make it for kids, or we have to make it adult. It was just the show, and that's why I think adults and kids really liked shows like that. Where I think now a lot of cartoons are geared mainly towards kids, but they seem more childish. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe because I'm getting older.
Yeah, it could be, and you're getting a stigma of what we grew up on, which was, hey, why is that so childish? But now we're seeing it as a different version of what we saw it as when we were younger. You know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll wait till I see it to actually give it an idea. But as of right now, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm one of the 16,000 that hate this show.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give it a dislike. It's hey, I say they're trying something new. I really don't like to put down people's work. Trust me. Hey, if they were like, Sonny, do you want to do a voice on this show? I would jump at it.
That'd be a heartbeat for you.
Oh yeah. Even if it's like, Sonny, you play a tree that hums in the background. I say, guys, check this out. You hear me humming as a tree.
Yeah, you
who knows?
That's
one
me.
Day.
You'd be telling your kids one day.
Yeah, that tree that gets destroyed by Skeletor. I was that tree. All right, but we'll be back. Hopefully with more news on that and things like that with my career and He-Man and humming trees and all that. But now we move on to another show that is set to premiere on HBO Max, and it is Black Canary. Jamie?
Yeah. So this is spinning out of Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey, because I'm not going to say the full title of the original movie because that's just a mouthful. But yeah, you're getting the same actress who played Black Canary in it. I think it's a good move because now you're going to extend that DC universe either as a movie series, like movies, or you're going to extend it as a TV show. I know they're saying it's more likely going to be a show, which I do enjoy. I just don't think we need... I mean, in all honesty, we've had 2 Oliver Queens already. One in Smallville, one in Arrow. Thank you. I was thinking of Heels because Stephen Amell's a part of that now. So, yeah, I think that if you bring one more in, I think that should be the person that's going to be Green Arrow throughout the rest of the DCEU, whether it's the shows or movies. I did like Black Canary and the Harley Quinn and Birds of Prey, but we just didn't get too much of her. Like, we got the one scene of her screaming, and that was it. You saw earlier in that movie that the glass broke when she would sing, but at the end, that's when we got like the full blast, and then that was it. So I'm excited to see more. I think that she will do the character justice. At least I hope so. So we'll see how it goes. I'm excited.
Yeah. And I was hearing that the showrunners for the show are the showrunners of the show called Lovecraft Country. Yes. So that was filmed in Chicago. So when I saw that, I'm like, maybe there's a chance that they'll be filming Black Canary in Chicago.
And Sonny's gonna be an extra getting screamed at.
Yeah, I can screen that, and we'll see. Maybe no more bats. Just who knows? Who do you think would be a villain for Black Canary in a show or movie?
We could do Checkmate.
Yeah,
you could do anybody from there. So to me, like a good villain would probably be anybody that isn't twined with Oliver Queen, and use that as their way of meeting in the show. Like have her like go up against Vertigo, and then he pops out of nowhere like at the end of the season after she tries to finally get him. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see what happens with the Black Canary. And now, Jim, I'll let you take this one away again because I know you're such a big fan of him. Yeah. Well, we won't be talking about billionaire Dick Grayson.
Yes, we will. And if anybody's been trying to, catch up on Nightwing, Tom Taylor is writing it, and he's doing a fantastic job at it so far. After the death of Alfred, spoiler alert from the Tom King run, Alfred left money to all the Robins. Now that Batman is less rich than he was previously, and it can only afford 3 Batarangs instead of 4, Dick Grayson now holds more money than Bruce Wayne. And with all that Tom Taylor's doing, I was about to say Tom King again. All that Tom Taylor is doing with the character, he's basically making him the new Bruce Wayne. He's doing all this charity work. He's helping out. He's finding people like kids that need a place, almost like Bruce bringing in Dick at that time. But now it's the reverse. So now we're getting Nightwing as Batman, but in Bloodhaven instead of Gotham, which I think is how Bruce Wayne Batman should have been written when it came to the Bruce Wayne storylines. For most story arcs, we really didn't see it. All we hear about ever is usually, we got to rejuvenate Gotham. It gets old after a while. Now we got a new fresh face. We got a new way of looking at it. They're doing the things that I wish they would have done with Bruce Wayne's character with Dick Grayson's now. So I'm excited for it. I can't wait. I want to see more of it. Sonny, you got any thoughts of the Nightwing being Bruce Wayne?
I like it. Like you said, you made a good point when you said instead of seeing the same thing, that we've seen for almost or a little over 80 years now. Well, we haven't been alive that long, but like I said, Batman going over the same stuff. It's nice to see somebody else. The story changing, the story evolving, and now, like I said, Dick Grayson, Nightwing, being the billionaire and helping people out, like I said, in Bloodhaven, and I think it's a good step. I think, like I said, it moves the story forward. We can see more things and maybe some new villains, maybe some new heroes as well. But I think this is a good step in taking the characters to the next level. So I'm excited to either read or at least hear what's going to go on, and I'm excited for it. I think it's a good move.
Yeah, I do agree because the way it's been written has been amazing. So I can't knock what we're doing there. It just makes me more of a DC fan seeing that than anything else. Something finally going right. Well, not finally going right, but hitting another right stride within DC as like the comic continuity is amazing.
That's good. Okay, well, there we go. There's our comic news of the week. Now we can move on to Mail Call. Now I announced this in the pre-show, which you could see at twitch.tv/Codex Podcast. See, I got it right now. Yeah, I made sure to learn it.
He's been practicing in the mirror, ladies and gentlemen.
So I have been practicing. I did not want to mess up. So I announced in the pre-show that this will be the last mail call that is on the regular Codex Podcast show. From now on, we'll be doing it in either sometimes videos that we post on YouTube or in the pre-show that you can see at twitch.tv/Codex Podcast.
Oh, you almost messed up there. I saw that. Or we're also going to be seeing it probably on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter as well. Hopefully. We'll get around to those. But
yes, like you say, it'll get around. So, Here we go. my last one, like you were just saying about DC, we were talking about Batman and all that. And, well, I got a lot of Batman. I got a lot of Batman comics. So I'll go through them fast. These are all just from Batman. Batman issue 443, 447, 448, which is part of the Penguin Affair, Part 1. And now Part 2 is in a different Batman series, so it did not come with this lot. So that one I need. But then Batman, I also got Batman 449, which is the Penguin Affair, Part 3 of 3. And then the whole reason I got this lot was I was after these two, and it is Batman issue 450 and Batman issue 451.
That I do like that cover. That's my that kind of cover kind of thing. But when you look at it, that's the one I always think of.
Yeah, so that's I'm like I need to get that, and then it said, hey, it came with the other comics as well. So okay, I got to get this. I need to win this bid, and I did. So, and I also got Batman 455, Batman 456. Almost done.
Holy Batman.
Yeah. Batman 461 and Batman 464. So that was my Batman lot of comics I got in the mail. And I literally got it all for like less than, maybe somewhere around $15.
That was a good pull. That definitely was.
Yes.
You're adding to the collection. We're breaking you, Sonny. You're going to have long boxes upon long boxes here soon.
Yeah, those long boxes are on their way. Okay, but that is my last mail call for the regular episodes of the Codex podcast. And like I said, you'll see videos every now and then. Like I said, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all that of other ones. And then sometimes on the pre-show, we'll do mail call. Jamie, do you have any mail calls?
No, I do not. But I am going to say right now on the show that starting next week, I am going to do my bi-weekly pull list. I know I've been putting it off for a little bit because I've been trying to catch up on all the reading. There has been a lot on my side. Many of you may not know about, but if you follow me on social media, you'll know about it. But it's been a minute since I've actually got to sit down and read, and I am caught up now. So starting, like I said, next week, I will be showing everybody what I get for my pull list every 2 weeks.
All right. Looking forward to it. So now we get on to our works. And now I actually have something of my work to talk about that does deal with comics again. So I am writing a short story. I'm planning on finishing it this week. I'm like, it's a short story. I'm still editing a series by series every day. But I'm like, I need to get back to my writing. I've been dying for it. So all our talks, I got to say, it's definitely got to be the Codex podcast, all this talk about comic books and everything. So it's been giving ideas in my head. So I'm writing a short story, and it is called The Comic Book. So it is something that
so
comic
original.
fans will definitely be able. Yeah, The Comic Book.
Oh, Sonny.
But can you name anything else that's also just called The Comic Book?
A comic book, like literally any comic book you have a comic book of 30 of them sitting next to you from Batman.
See, so this is The Comic Book, and it's about when you find it's a little comedy thing. It's somebody finding one of those comic books that are worth thousands of dollars, so they're trying to get a hold of it and make sure that they can hang on to it. But I'm having fun writing it, and I'll definitely, after I finish writing it, edit it, go over, make sure it's all nice, and then eventually post it. Definitely before a series is done.
Right.
But yeah, I'll keep you updated on it, and then eventually we'll have links so everybody can read it. It'll probably be like a 10 to 20 minute story to read. So that is my work for this week. Jamie, how about you?
All right, so Sonny kind of put me on the spot, everybody, for the name of the comic that I wrote. I will give you the name. I'm going to break it up every time we're doing artworks. So the name of my comic is True Colors. So think about what it could possibly be. Sonny, I got a challenge for you.
Okay.
Based on the title alone, next week on the show, we'll do it on the pre-show so people can come to it and see it. What do you think my comic is going to be about? based on just the title alone.
Cyndi Lauper.
And thank you all for showing up again, because as Sonny got this one right, and I'm just done writing.
There you go. Okay, but I will be. Okay, so Cyndi Lauper is the lead right now, but I'll be thinking about more, and I have a better answer for you next week.
Yes, because Cyndi Lauper is so, spot on.
Yes. Sorry that I got it. Sorry that I nailed the question that
I know
asked.
that was lightning quick. So.
What was I gonna say? All right, man.
Yeah.
Well, there you go for our works. Now we know that I will have a short story called The Comic Book, which I'll be releasing soon. And Jamie's story is now we know the title of Jamie's story, which will be called True Colors.
Yes. By the way, here's another part for Sonny that he does not know about, because Sonny likes to throw things in segments that I don't know about, so I'm throwing one at him. Sonny, I will be sending you over the full script the following week. So after you think of the synopsis that following week, I'm going to send you over the script, and I want you to go through it, and I want you to tell everybody on the following show what you thought.
All right, man. Sounds good. Thank you. Thank you for sharing it for me.
No one else's eyes, only Sonny's, because
all right.
It only has eyes for Sonny. So, on to the next segment.
But you know what? One thing, I'm glad we talked about it, and I can't believe I did it. I can't believe I did not do it on the show. Last week we were talking so much. We were just so excited what we were talking about.
Yeah.
But I did want to truly say, man, congrats on finishing writing it. As writers, it's such a great feeling to finish writing something, and good luck to you, and I look forward to reading it soon. So,
yeah, dude.
Congrats on finishing writing it.
Thank you. It's been a lot in the making. I mean, I had a synopsis of that story a long time ago, and I was trying to pick my because I've had a couple ideas jotted down, and I finally found my old notebook. I've been in Wisconsin a year, and I'm still going through boxes of stuff that I forgot that I had, and I found my notebook of my ideas, and I was looking, I'm like, oh, that actually sounds really cool, so I went with it, but I built a world behind it, so I'm excited.
Yeah, I am too, man. So, especially, thank you. Like you said, you'll be sending it to me, so I look forward to reading it.
Okay, yeah, can't wait.
So I'll tell you what I think of it. I'll give you my honest opinion.
It is worse than Punisher: Circle of Blood.
Well, that's a hard one to beat. So
it's a 6.4.
No shame if it doesn't beat Punisher: Circle of Blood. Okay, but we'll get more onto that next week. So, our topic of the week, since there's all this talk about the What If episodes being released on Disney Plus, our topic of the week is what is a what if adaptation that's never been done that you would want to see and why? And as usual, my co-host Jamie has our top 3 comments of the week.
Yeah, first one, it was kind of weird that we had it. I was trying to do the way we said it was based off Marvel, but I also put it out there for a DC kind of thing or an indie. The first one we actually got is from Dan Kelly, who has been on there before. What if Jason Todd never died? And I think that'd be a great adaptation for it because there was a vote based on that. So that one I thought was great. D. Scott Hewitt. But what if Iron Man lost the Armor Wars? So any thoughts on that? Anything?
We were talking about the Armor Wars. I'm trying to see if there was one of that.
Because it feels like there was, but I really like that answer because I don't read what ifs. You do.
So there is one.
Okay.
What if number 28? Oh, excuse me. Sorry. What if Volume 2 in Issue 8 was what if Iron Man lost the Armor Wars? But I have not read it, so
we're gonna go with that as a good answer. So we're gonna check that one out.
Yeah, it is good because they said, "Hey, it was made."
Yeah, so. Like I said, I'm not in for all the what ifs, but hey, I thought it was a great answer, and yeah, I'll read it just to see how it is. So I'll probably end up picking that up for a mail call. And then Midat Khan, which I do not know this one. I'm pretty sure this one is not a what if because I've read what it's based off of. What if Punisher killed the Marvel Universe? A play on Deadpool killing Marvel Universe instead. which I think is a great take based on his side, because I feel like even though Deadpool's got all this regenerate, like he could basically regenerate from anything, go forth from that. Punisher doesn't have those kind of skill sets. He just knows how to take people out.
Yeah.
So
there also is one called The Punisher Kills Marvel Universe.
Oh, see. But no. Okay, so
yeah, there's been many dubs. So that is the thing. Yeah, we're just hard. I mean, that's how we put it out there because we like to see what people have to say. But it is pretty interesting that there has been so much made out there.
Yeah, and a lot of them, like even going through like the Marvel app itself, like it didn't have What If 24 on it. So like me reading it, I actually had to pick up the copy to actually read it instead of reading it digitally. But yeah, I mean, for this week's What Ifs, I mean, I think all of them are good. Even if they are made or aren't, I like to see different iterations of them. Kind of like what we're getting with the What If TV show. Like, Marvel Zombies was a thing, but we're getting a What If Marvel Zombies. So, different telling of the same story. I'd like to see all three of these as different, tellings of the same story.
Yeah. It'd be great to see them episodes.
Right.
Imagine an episode of the Punisher literally killing everybody.
Oh, yeah. It just taking out everybody. It'd be great. Disney wouldn't allow it, but I would.
Yeah. Yeah, Disney, I'm sure they would love the violence of the Punisher, blowing heads off.
Right. So, Sonny, what do you think of your What If you had to make one?
Well, for me, I know we usually don't do this, but I had, because we got a lot of funny comments, so I thought I'd have two honorable mentions.
Oh, okay.
These were more kind of funny ones. One was by Jackson King, who said, "What if Rogue opened a kissing booth?"
Yeah, I see that. That one was good.
Yeah. So yeah, there'd be a lot of hurt people, and Rogue would get super powerful. And one was also by David Schlosser Jr. What if Ozzy Osbourne was really Norman Osborn's son instead of Harry? I had to reply to that one. Jamie, I think you'll like this one. My reply was, he'd bite Morbius's head off.
You should have put just Jared Leto.
Well, there you go. Maybe in the movie they'll have a part like that.
Right.
He has a nightmare of Ozzy biting his head off. But for me, I was thinking of, I'm like, okay, let me do a what if comic book wise and a what if for the show.
Mm-hmm.
For the show, I would like to see a what if Hawkeye sacrificed himself instead of Black Widow. All right, and then for comic book wise, and this is one for my X-Men fans, so not everybody may know these characters, but it was what if Legion battled Proteus. And the reason I picked those two characters is because their powers are just unbelievable. Proteus, you can just change everything in the world. He can just how would I put it? He can make anything. I'm trying to, describe it right, but literally he can just make anything. He could turn the world around. Anything, make your head go big, small, anything. His powers are just insane. And Legion is somebody who can also, his telepathic powers, telekinetic powers. He has many powers. But what I think would make the battle interesting is that, he can control time. He can go forward. He can go back. He can stop time. So I think a battle between Legion and Proteus would cause trouble for the whole universe, multiverses, and eventually you would need superheroes and I think even supervillains teaming up to stop both of them from fighting so that the world can get back to normal. So that is my pick for a what if.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna say right now, because we had to pick two. Or not had to pick two, but we talked about it previously and we were picking two. Me and you are on the same wavelength as the first one, because I had the same thing picked as Hawkeye sacrificing himself instead of Black Widow. So I've been thinking that since Endgame. Like, what if that did happen, and how would that affect everything going forward? But if I had to do my own what if, I would say, what if Carnage defeated Venom and Spider-Man? Like, completely
crazy world.
Take them completely out. What would happen? So that is my what if. I think it'd be a great story, because there's no bounds to Cletus Cassidy, so anyone that tries to go up against him is in for a battle. And if he's the only symbiote left, I just can't imagine what he would do to all the heroes.
Yeah, I think that would be a good one. I like that one, man. It's a good job. Yeah, it would be interesting. It would be interesting to see who steps up and takes the plate. Say, okay, I'm going to take on Carnage. Would it be Captain America? Would it be Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, X-Men? Who knows who it would be? But I think it would be a great issue.
Yeah. So yeah, that's our that's the topic of the week. Again, thank you everyone who answered. Like I said, I'm not that aware of all the what ifs that are out because there is a lot.
There's a lot, yeah, even me too. I was coming up with some, and then I looked, and I was seeing the same thing.
And I think that's what a lot of our, like even with me, a lot of the answers that were given, people might not know that they were even a thing. And then even me giving the answers, because me and you both base them off what we think. And now that we're looking at it, we're like, oh, that actually is one. Yeah. So now I'm gonna have to check those out because that bothers me.
There's so much out there. Because so that's why I was actually, you would think a what if would be an easy one for me to come up with, but throughout the week I was having trouble because they said I would come up with one, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that was already made, and then another one, and I'd look, okay, that one was made. So with Legion versus Proteus, I'm like, I really doubt. I'd be super shocked if there was one of that. I can almost guarantee you there is no what if Legion versus Proteus.
And then someone's gonna comment down below and be like, there was one. Here it is.
I dare you. Because I'd want to read it.
Yeah, right. You'd be like, I will spend all my hard-earned money for this.
And yeah, with your one was a good one too. And for Carnage, being a very popular character, I'm pretty sure as well. Not as confident with the Legion versus Proteus, but I'm pretty confident that there was not a what if Carnage won and beat Venom and Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean there's a couple I had in mind. Like, what if Carnage didn't form with Cletus Cassidy? It would have been one of the ones that was up there tied with the one I was picking. But I don't know. It's just like if Carnage was the only one left, what could happen? So
yeah, I was thinking about doing one for again, X-Men. What if like Wolverine and Jean were married, but in Age of Apocalypse they are. So I'm like, okay, we've kind of seen that, but yeah. So if there's a what if Legion versus Proteus, they stole my idea, and this is proof.
Yeah. Not definitely.
Okay. But now, so that was our topic of the week, and before you know it, within the next couple of days, we will post our topic of the week for next week. And like we said, we picked the top 3. This was a special one. We picked 2 honorary mentions, but we usually just pick our usual 3 top answers. And now we move on to the review. So a few weeks ago, I gave Jamie the Uncanny X-Men, the Dark Phoenix Saga. And Jamie, I will let you start the review.
All right, so I'm going to kind of put this review easy because there's so much to give away for this whole series. Like, I went into it as usual. As I say every show, I am not the biggest X-Men fan in the world. It starts off with all the X-Men basically coming back. There's a lot of backstory between 107 and 108, the issues with Jean talking about how like she had the Phoenix powers and everything went along with that. We go into a problem with the Hellfire Club. Yeah, I'm right on that one, right? Like the Hellfire Club. Yep. I want to say Gala for some reason.
Because you need the Hellfire Gala.
Yeah.
So the Hellfire, they could be called Hellfire, the Hellfire Club, or also the Inner Circle. So either or.
The Inner Circle. This series did have 2 first appearances that I didn't realize were their first appearances, and that was Kitty Pryde and also the Dazzler. That I did not know that those were their first 2 actual appearances. So for me, reading it, I'm just gonna say one thing. I get why people can't stand Cyclops sometimes. He whined the entire time. He did, like, the only part that kind of threw me off was the interaction between him and Professor Xavier, because Professor Xavier was, like, putting him down, kind of, in some ways, and Cyclops didn't know why or understand it. But back to the main review, I just wanted to go off tangent there for a second, like I normally do during every review. So the Hellfire Club, the X-Men get kidnapped. While they look for, one team's looking for Kitty Pryde, the other team is looking for Dazzler, which they don't know who they are or why they're looking for them. All they know is that they're mutants and that Professor Xavier wants them in. As they get captured, Kitty Pryde goes forth and kind of makes a phone call to, I believe it's Nightcrawler in it, to come help save the X-Men. We have, was it Jean Grey's powers are kind of fluctuating between now and a prior time, whereas Jason Wingard, I think it is.
Yep.
I always want to say Wingarde, like it's like a Harry Potter spell. And she keeps seeing him, but it's in like a past life almost. But she thinks she knows who he is. Come to find out, he is not who he says he is. And I'm going to leave that one for people to find out. Going forward, they get out of the Hellfire Club, and Jean basically loses and attacks the X-Men, which starts her transformation into the Dark Phoenix. There's so much that happens. It's mind-blowing between then and where we're at the end. I gotta say that I do love, I think it was the last issue, everyone's perspective of Jean and what they would do for her, what they would go through. They went through Beast, Cyclops, Wolverine, Nightcrawler. The one line in there that stood out to me the most is, I think it was Nightcrawler that said if they went through, or if she was, or they would go through basically hell for her no matter what. There's just so much of a different, I don't know how any of the X-Men movies tried to pull this off. It makes no sense. To me, this should have been what story they told, whether it was First Class or the X-Men actual movie when it came out through Fox. But with that said, there is a lot of detail that I am leaving out. If Sonny wants to add what he thinks important during his part of the review, that's fine. But I'm going to give Dark Phoenix Saga an 8.9. As much as I always give X-Men a hard time and Cyclops a hard time for being a whiny little baby, it was good. I think it's a good place for people to start. I feel like if they're going to start, though, with this, they need to read 107 and 108. Because I feel like that was more important to have prefaced in going into the Dark Phoenix. That's why I didn't get... I would have gave this a 9.7 if I probably would have known what happened before. They kind of allude to it, but they really don't.
Okay. All right. So there's Jamie. Jamie gives the Uncanny X-Men, the Dark Phoenix Saga, an 8.9. But yeah, like I said, obviously, I wasn't going to give you all those issues before, but yeah, I thought it was a good place to give it to you. And like I said, it pretty much wraps up the whole story here. Once it's done, it's done. The story is completed. Not like some other X-Men stories where they're kind of completed, but they continue on. Mm-hmm. But for me, and for most people, I believe that the Dark Phoenix Saga is the X-Men story. It was the story that pushed X-Men to the next level and put it up there with the top comic books. It let people know, okay, the X-Men, they're up there with the teams like the Avengers and the Justice League. They're not just some regular comic books, because before, they had good issues. They had, they had Magneto still as their villain. You still had your characters, but they still weren't too much as established as the top team. Whereas this put them to that next level, and there was the drama, there was the action, there was the romance, like I said, between Cyclops and Jean, but also Wolverine still being in love with Jean. I've always been a fan of the Inner Circle, even though they're they're rich snobs. I've always found them to be interesting villains, and then obviously the Dark Phoenix, the whole story is one of my favorite X-Men stories, one of my favorite Marvel stories. And like I said, I don't think X-Men would be what it is to this day without the Dark Phoenix saga. And we also got to see the Imperial Guard. You get to see Gladiator sporting that cool mohawk.
Yeah, that was cool to see them actually be a part of it.
Yeah.
Like I said, with this one, I felt like every issue had something that if I said, it would spoil it. Like, no matter what, like how we get to the Imperial Guard, like just those events alone leading up to it, I feel like would spoil this book for most people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
Because you know the part I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. Trust me, I do. So I don't want to give too much away, like you said. But one thing I do like about Gladiator is, I must say, he is Marvel's Mohawk version of Superman with the same powers, the cape, the super strength, the flying. He literally can take punches on his chest. That doesn't happen in this one, but other ones he has laser powers. But I must say that with X-Men, they've tried to do this story multiple times, multiple adaptations of it, and without a doubt, I say the best adaptation of the Dark Phoenix saga is the '90s animated series, and they did it in a 4-part episodes. And I think if you have not seen it, I definitely recommend it. And they did such a great job of adapting this into a cartoon, and I think it's gonna be hard to beat that one. But so I had seen it actually first, and then later on, years later, bought the comic, I bought the trade, and reading it, I was like, okay, wow, I really see a lot of similarities. And so I had known pretty much a lot of it, so a lot of it was spoiled for me. But going over it again, and I've gone over this multiple times, I'm like, it's always been one of my favorites. And like I said, it's the story that brought X-Men to that top level. And Jamie, you know what I'm gonna give it.
Oh my god, of course he's gonna give it a 4.
Dark Phoenix Saga. The Dark Phoenix Saga, it's a 4 plus 6. So I give X-Men, the Dark Phoenix Saga, a 10 out of 10. Jamie, did you know before this we were tied with 3 10 out of 10s each? But now I have given my 4th 10 out of 10, and it goes to the Dark Phoenix Saga.
Yeah, I turned into you for
couple weeks there.
I didn't feel like me anymore.
One thing I must say, and I'll try to show it to the camera, is so this is made in the early 80s. Well, it literally began issue 129, which starts the Dark Phoenix saga, was made in January 1980. So this was the X-Men going to the 80s. When they're seeing Dazzler at the club, we see people in clubs and they have piercings, and this was back then, they're kind of...
Oh, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
There is a guy, and he has a paperclip in his nose, as opposed to a nose ring. I'm not sure if you can see it right there. A paperclip.
Yeah, and I got a lot of the Joker feel from him because the way he looked.
Yeah, yep, I completely see what you're going for. Yeah. But like I said, X-Men: The Dark Phoenix Saga is one of my favorites. And a while ago, when you said you hadn't read it, I'm like, okay, I know one day I'm definitely going to have to give you the Dark Phoenix Saga. Especially, too, because I love the story. I was like, okay, I think this is one you'll enjoy. Excuse me.
Ooh.
One I think you'll enjoy.
So excited over there. Look at him.
Yeah, so excited. I'm burping. I'm going to throw up all over.
Yeah, that'd be...
And it's one...
great for television. Great for streams.
Yeah. Yeah, all over the camera. But, yeah, I'm like, I think it was a story that's always talked about. So I'm like, it's a must read. Must read for X-Men fans, Marvel fans, comic book fans. And there we go. You see that Jamie gives it an 8.9 out of 10, and I give the Dark Phoenix Saga a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it was, like I said, it was a good read. I enjoyed it. Like I said, there was a couple downfalls for me that pushed it to the 8.9, and I didn't think I covered it, but one of them was, like I said, it's always... everybody in the X-Men has like their own narration bubble, and that's it. I don't mind reading like a lot on a page, but I just feel like it took away from the art a lot reading it, because there's so much you could have told through the art as well, so many chances to show it, and it just didn't capitalize on it. But it was a story driven, obviously, arc, and I thought that was cool. And obviously, you know, Scott Summers just being a whiny little Scott Summers.
Hey, that's why in X-Men Worst X-Men Ever, he was put at that table of the most hated characters. Yeah, and it said, you don't like him.
Yeah.
But one thing I do say, that I love my X-Men. It's my top comics. But I do agree that, like you said, sometimes they have a lot of talking, a lot of bubbles, when sometimes it's like, let the art tell the story. Like, if somebody's blasting somebody with something, the character doesn't need to think, oh, they hit me with this, it hurts.
Yeah.
Like, we can see that from the art. So that is one case I do agree with you when you do say that, yeah. But like I said, I love the story and the drama, the action, the everything. And, as one thing we know is that the Dark Phoenix Saga had a long-lasting effect on the X-Men, not just popularity-wise, but also like the characters. Jean was, the whole team was affected for a long time after this, for many years to come.
So, yeah, you know what? I'll probably start checking out some of the Uncanny X-Men, like certain arcs. So maybe if you want to give me like a list of a couple arcs I need to try, other than that, I'll give them a go.
Cool. Yeah, like Days of Future Past only takes place a few issues after this.
Really?
But then yeah. So even like the issues leading to that, they even mention a lot of it. And I believe, because I just have the trade of the Dark Phoenix Saga. I also have the trade of Days of Future Past, and it literally is the issues right after. And I believe the Epic Collection is both of them together.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so they were very close by, and yeah, I'll definitely be more than happy to send you some lists of some of my favorite story arcs and ones I'm reading now.
All right, cool. And now that that's over, I'm gonna give Sonny his book or trade or story arc to go over, and I'm giving you the Brokeback Mountain novel. Which
get my cowboy hat.
I'm giving you one of my personal favorites that not many talk about, but I feel like they need to talk about, so we need to talk about it. Are you ready to talk about it? Sonny, I'm giving you from the New 52 Forever Evil.
It sounds like it's going to be very evil, and I'm excited for it because Forever Evil is one that I'll have to look over my Amazon wish list. It's one I've had in my list for a few years, and then I'll be this, and that. So now there you go. Now I will definitely get to DC's Forever Evil, and I'm sure maybe in 2 weeks we'll do the review for it.
All right, cool.
But yeah, it's gonna be a good one. I'm excited for it, and hey, I'm looking forward to seeing Jake Gyllenhaal in it.
Yeah, right. Oh my God, so dreamy. But as we move on, thank you guys again for showing up to the stream. Thank everybody who's liked, comment, share, subscribed, and do me a favor and hit that notification bell on YouTube so that way you don't miss when new content is posted, which we are going to be posting a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean way too much. You're going to hate us by the end, but you're going to love us even more. It's going to be amazing. So thank you guys again, and make sure to go check out Spotify as well.
That's right. Thank you, everybody. Take care. See you next week for episode 12 of the Codex Podcast.
Later, guys.